After completion of her service as a supplier of fresh water to Royal Navy warships, the Royal Fleet Auxiliary steamship Freshspring had ended up alongside the small dock at Newnham on the River Severn, just down from Gloucester. She represents the sole remaining steam-powered coastal-going vessel of the type that used to be so prevalent around the UK. Above deck, she was in pretty poor condition, and if just left there, she was in danger of just rusting away. Having been acquired by the Freshspring Society, a trust set up to save, preserve and then refurbish her, at Newnham, volunteers of the trust set about halting that situation, and in 2016 a plan was put in place to move her to a berth in Devon at Bideford, where major restoration work could be undertaken. That journey would be in 2 stages. Stage 1 of the relocation would see her move to Sharpness Docks, further down the Severn, where she could go into dry dock for checking and, if necessary, repair prior to Stage 2, which would be the longer journey down the coast to Bideford. With the rising water level, the tug makes its way up to and alongside Freshspring. The tow rope is taken on board and made fast. Ropes are cast off and slowly, against the current still running up the river, the tug takes a strain and Freshspring starts to move downstream, beginning her first journey from Newnham, where she had been for the past 24 years. With the tide now turned and running down to the sea, the tug, Freshspring and Riparian, which is being used to steer the aft end, are soon at Sharpness and start a sort of dance to move against the fast-flowing current and manoeuvre around and into the harbour entrance. Once into the dry dock, work began to prepare the ship for the longer trip down to Devon. This entailed checking the underside of the hull to ensure that it would be fit for the coming passage and carrying out minor works. As well as checking the hull over, whilst they had good dry dock access, it was given a good coat of paint and generally tidied up in preparation for the much longer journey out of the estuary and down the Bristol Channel to Bideford. After only a few short weeks, Freshspring was ready for the next stage of getting to a permanent base in Devon. On the day of the move, the weather was again kind, and with her newly painted name on show fore and aft, Freshspring and the tug made a careful exit from the harbour. Once out into the river, and against the flow of the incoming tide, the tug slowly took up the strain, and they were off, heading for the open sea.